Imagine reaching retirement age and realizing what you really wanted wasn't more stuff, but more control over your time, more flexibility, more freedom. I wasn't broke. I wasn't failing financially. But somewhere after 50, I started realizing that retirement, as it got closer, I really wasn't ready for. And that realization hit me harder than I expected. Because I think a lot of responsible professionals quietly assume that their decades of hard work automatically equals security in the future. And honestly, I started asking myself some harder questions. What would retirement actually look like for me? Would I feel more financially secure in retirement, or would I feel still depend upon that one paycheck just at a different stage of my life? My name is Dawn, and I'm building strategic digital income along with a high-level leadership role. I'm not trying to become internet famous. I'm not trying to quit my job overnight. Honestly, I love my job. I am building options today because as I get older, the more important freedom, flexibility, and control over my future means. Not chaos, not hype, not any get rich scheme, not interested in that either. Just intentional preparation. I think a lot of professionals quietly end up in this very strange place, which is from the outside, everything looks successful. You built a career, you showed up, you did all the hard work to get where you are today, and you carried responsibility for years. And honestly, a lot of people assume that that should automatically equal or create security later. But internally, that can just mean pressure, still uncertainty, still dependence upon that one paycheck, still feeling that stepping away from work completely might feel like financially very uncomfortable. I didn't want my future to feel fragile. That hit me hard because I wasn't looking for some drastic escape plan for my life. I was looking for more control, more flexibility, more breathing room later in life. I think most professionals over 50 are quietly starting to feel this too. Somewhere after 50, I think time starts to feel a little bit different. You realize more decades have passed while you were being responsible, building careers, paying mortgages, taking care of everybody else, and showing up every single day. And one day you start asking yourself, what do I actually want in the next chapter of my life? What do I want that to feel like? And the question stayed with me for quite some time. So instead of panicking and making some dramatic change to blow up my life, I started building quietly. I spent a few focused hours per day, every day consistently, learning new skills, creating content much like this, understanding systems, taking small steps consistently. Most mornings I just get up, have some coffee with my dogs nearby, set the day and start thinking about how I want to spend my day. And honestly, those quiet moments started making me think really differently about life, about time, about my freedom, about how much of my life I still want to fully experience outside of work. When I picture the future now, I honestly think about simpler things. More mornings with coffee and my dogs, more freedom over my schedule, more quiet time, more room to think and just breathe and have flexibility on how I spend my time in my life. And honestly, that version of success means much more to me than status ever did. Because after decades of responsibility, I think a lot of us eventually realize that retirement isn't just about money. Truly, the way I look at retirement, it is my freedom. Freedom to do whatever I'd like. It's about time, peace, choice, breathing room. And that really is what I'm working on building now. Now, I'm not building this because I want to exit my career right now. I'm building this because I want more control over the next chapter of my life. I want retirement to feel intentional and not just reactive. I want to know I built something before I desperately needed it. And I think more people over 50 are starting to really feel this shift too. Not because they failed, but because the world has changed. I mean, let's face it, the world has drastically changed. Even in the last 20, 30 years, it's very different. So what does that actually look like for me? Well, most days it's about 2 focused hours. A little bit of time in the morning, a little bit of time in the evening, learning, building, creating videos, posting content, reviewing my systems, improving little by little, nothing drastic, nothing flashy, just consistent. And honestly, I really would love to hear from you on this. Has retirement changed the way you think about work, freedom, and your future? Do you ever feel like one paycheck just carries much more weight than it ever used to? Or maybe you've started realizing that you want more out of life. You want options. Tell me where your mindset is today. Because I think more professionals are quietly feeling this shift as well, and we need to openly talk about it. If you're curious whether this is the kind of path that would make sense for you, feel free to download my digital readiness guide. No pressure, no hype, just some overall good information that is free. If you're curious about the blueprint and want to learn a little bit more about what I'm doing on a daily basis, and of course, future videos, I will talk more about this, feel free to click on the other link down below. And if this conversation resonates with you, let me know in the comments what part resonated with you most, what part really related to you. Because here, we don't burn bridges, we build runways. Thanks.